back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm bringing you guys an information video about the new DLC for Dead by Daylight, A Lullaby for the Dark. Before we start, I think you guys need to understand what it is about. So guys, basically what we'll go ahead and do is read what the backstory of this Killer the Huntress is. So let's get right into it. It says, as soon as Anna was able to walk, her mother started teaching her how to survive in a harsh, solitary life in the northern woods. Living in such an extremely remote and dangerous area required skill and resilience. When sunlight became too dim for productive activities, they would go and take refuge in their house, a sturdy old cabin constructed to resist the toughest winters. Close to the heart's warmth, Anna would rest in her mother's arms, surrounded by a few wooden toys and masks she has crafted for her. Drifting off into sleep with stories and lullabies, she dreamt happy dreams, ignorant of the events that would soon change everything. Anna and her mother were stalking a great out of the woods. They knew it was a dangerous prey, but it had been particularly a difficult winter, and they were almost out of food. The specter of starvation frightened them more than anything or any forest creature. Without warning, the elk reared, bellowed, and charged at Anna. She was paralyzed with fear as the whole world seemed to shake under the immense beast's pounding hooves. The elk was close enough for Anna to see the murderer's fury in his eyes when her mother threw herself in his path, axe in hand. A blood-curdling scream escaped from her lips as the elk impaled her upon its antlers and hoisted her into the air. With all her strength, she brought her axe down on its head again and again while it tried to shake her loose. With a sickening crack, the antlers snapped, and Anna's mother was free. The beast collapsed. Anna was too small to move her mother's broken body, so she sat with her in the clearing where she had fallen. To distract her from the dying elk's cries, Anna's mother had held her and hummed her favorite lullaby. They stayed like that, the huntress and elk getting quieter and colder, until Anna was alone in the silent forest. Eventually, she stood up and started a long walk back home. Still a child, she knew enough about life in the frozen forest to survive. She followed her instincts and became of the wild. She got older and stronger and practiced her hunt. As she grew into a dangerous predator, humanity became a half-remembered dream. She widened her territory and lived off her hunts. She worked her way through squirrels and hares and mink and foxes. Eventually, she grew tired of them and hunted more dangerous animals like wolves and bears. When unsuspecting travelers came through her woods, she discovered her new favorite prey, humans. Unlucky souls who strayed in her territory were slaughtered like any other animal. She liked to collect her tools and colorful garments, especially toys, when they were little ones, but she could never bring herself to kill the little girls. Girls she would take back to the house deep in the woods. They were precious, and looking at them woke up something deep in her heart. She craved the closeness of a loved one, a child of her own. Among the pillaged wooden toys, dolls, and storybooks she couldn't read, the girls would be tied by the neck with a rough and chafing rope fastened firmly to the wall. She wouldn't let them wander off, or they would surely die outside. Every time the girls would waste away and die of cold or starvation or sickness. Every time it plunged Anna deeper in pain and sorrow and madness. She was compelled to try again and started raiding the nearest villages to slaughter families and kidnap their daughters. She wore one of the animal masks her mother crafted for her so many years earlier to try to calm the frightened children. Villagers spread the legend of a half-beast lurking in the red forest, the huntress who killed men and ate little girls. War eventually came to the forest. German soldiers began to pass through on the march to attack the collapsing Russian Empire. During these dark times, there were no more travelers. The villagers had abandoned their homes, and no more little ones to be found, only soldiers. Many of them were found with violent axe wounds. Whole groups disappeared mysteriously. Once the war was over, the rumors of the huntress disappeared with it, engulfed by the red forest. Wow. That's pretty intense if you ask me. Continuing this, information about the Huntress, we're going to go ahead and basically read what she does. So, killer power, the Huntress is hunting hatchets. A skill taught by our mother and mastered in the wild. The Huntress can throw hatchets with deadly precision. So, the Huntress carries 5 hatchets. The charge is to throw for maximum throwing speed. So when you use your second ability, which is to throw the hatchets, you are charging the maximum throwing speed. So I'm guessing if you throw it almost immediately, it'll be a bit slower and forward. But the more you charge, it'll go faster. So you can cancel hatchet throws, like you can cancel almost any other ability with any other killer besides a few other ones. Hatchets are consumed on use, and you can refill hatchets at lockers. Now, I like that hatchets are consumed on use. Well, no, let me re-say that. It says hatchets are consumed in use. You can refill hatchets at lockers. I'm only okay with that, refilling hatchets at lockers, if some lockers don't have any like hatchets you can refill. What there is, you can only refill 1 at each locker in the map, because I don't think there should be infinite supply, you know. So I think if there's just 1 in each locker, that would be okay. Or originally I was thinking that hatchets shouldn't be consumed on use. After they hit the survivor, they just kind of bounced off and land on the ground, and then the hunters will have to go and pick it up if they wanted to reuse it. And how, as a killer, when you see like generators, how they're red, you'll see your your hatchets as a glowing color too, you know, so you can always find them. So I think that's how it should have been, but it's not how it is. Oh well. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and read the killer perks. So I'm just gonna read what she's about. It says the Huntress perks revolve around the hunt of the prey to track and find, so that she can get close enough to make the kill. Territorial Imperative is the first perk, and it says unlocks potential in one's aura reading ability. Survivors' auras are revealed to you when they enter the basement and you are more than 24 meters away of the basement entrance. Obviously, it's kind of self-explanatory. If you're 24 meters away of a shack with the main building and someone's in the basement, as long as you're 24 meters away of the basement, you can see where they are. And it's okay. It's pretty useful, but survivors are still able to hide, because as you get closer, they can either run out of the basement or they could just hide, like they could hide in the locker, you know. But it's pretty useful to see if people are going to save someone from the basement. So I think it's pretty useful, and it also promotes to not camp, because then you can see who goes for someone anyway. Okay, so the second perk is called Beast of Prey. Your lust for a kill is so intense that your connection with the entity is momentarily lost, making you totally unpredictable. The red stain disappears for a limited time once bloodlust kicks in. So I'm guessing as soon as you get first bloodlust after chasing someone, the red stain disappears for a limited time. Guessing so survivors don't think you're close to them, but you actually are. This could be useful. I get it, but it doesn't seem that good, you know. It's kind of one of those perks where it might not be used often, because I don't know. Your red stain that disappears for a limited time, is that really that useful? I don't know. The last one, which is probably the best one there is called Huntress Lullaby. Your hunt is an irresistible song of dread which mellows your prey's attention. Survivors within your terror radius receive a regression penalty for missing any skill check. Each time a survivor is hooked, Huntress Lullaby grows in power. The time between the skill check and sound its warning becomes shorter. So this is what I'm going to guess is what it means. So it says your hunt is your irresistible song of dread which mellows your prey's attention, right? Survivors within your terror radius. So as soon as they get the heartbeat, they receive a regression penalty when missing any skill check. So I'm guessing once they miss a skill check, they get a regression penalty, which is probably pretty big, you know. And then it's just each time survivor is hooked, Huntress Lullaby grows in power. The time between the skill check and the sound warning becomes shorter, meaning when there's a survivor hooked, when there is any survivor hooked, the lullaby, the Huntress Lullaby grows in power, meaning time between the skill check and the sound warning becomes short, meaning the sound warning is shorter and the skill check appears, like you can see the skill check faster, so it's more unexpected, which is this is probably the best perk of all 3 of them. It's kind of thinking more along the lines like some sort of ruin, kind of thanatophobia and stuff. Not really ruin though, because it's not like constant messed up, but it's like, it's not ruin exactly, but I think it might be thanatophobia based a bit. It's pretty cool. I like that one. It's a good perk. And then the bio, the Red Forest Mother's Dwelling. I don't think you really care about that. I'll read it. It says, deep in the forest with many names lies a hidden home. The family that once lived there was dependent on the forest and was broken by it. More than a century old, the dwelling is in surprisingly good condition, though it shows signs of often being patched and mended. The forest holds the house tightly in scraps, growing over around it like a second skin. Only once inside is it clear that someone still lives there. It is warm and welcoming and lovingly decorated with a large living space, a bedroom, and a corner dedicated for little ones. Here they are protected from the harsh winters of northern forest. So that's pretty interesting. Now about the new survivor, his name is David King. He's basically an a-hole. He's basically a spoiled single child of wealthy parents, and his favorite activities include getting into bar battles and debt collecting. So he's not a good guy. He looks pretty decent, pretty cool, I guess, if you want to say that. I don't know. I wouldn't really say he's like someone that, I don't know. He seems like a decent survivor. I really want a black survivor just because you have a black girl, so why not have a black guy too? But I guess you can't really put a black guy for this one because it's kind of sound kind of racist. Getting into fights and stuff. So I guess it's good that they didn't do that. But basically, I'm more gonna get into a better explanation about what he is and like his perks are. Alright, so basically this David King is basically about being altruistic. So he's basically a good rugby player, so he's really good at teamwork and he's really altruistic. His first perk is just called I Got You Son. Basically, you get 50% extra bonus blood points for doing any altruistic events. Second perk is Line Break. It's basically a shot of adrenaline every time you're hit when you're injured, which basically is temporary invulnerability. The last perk is more interesting. It's basically a unbreakable, but a bit odd. Technically, it's called Just a Scratch, and you're always in an injured state and cannot heal back to the original state. But every time you're in a dying state, you're able to recover back to the injured state. So it's pretty cool. I want to share this with you guys. This is the last image. Basically, my friend screenshot of this. Me and him managed to play with Angry Pug, the Twitch live streamer Dead by Daily. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Goodbye.